You're listening to How to 20-something, the best podcast that helps both men and women navigate their 20s and learn how to adult across all aspects of their lives. We're going to focus on career, relationships, finances, fitness, nutrition, and all of the common challenges and obstacles a typical 20-something will face in this post-college life. I'm your host, Jess Diamond, and I am the CEO and founder of Jess Diamond Coaching, where I help young professionals get their shit together, gain their confidence, and own their life. No one prepares you for this adulting world, so allow me to help you feel like you are no longer a chicken running around with its head cut off, and that you actually know what the hell is going on and what your next step to take is. Welcome to How to 20-something. Welcome back to another episode of How to 20-something, where today's episode is full of bad news and wake-up calls. It's in regards to why all the quick fixes out there aren't actually quick. I know, I'm the bearer of bad news here, because life would be so much easier if quick fixes worked. In fact, they don't just fail to work, they really set you back even further than had you tried the longer, slower approach in the first place. I'm talking crash diets, 75 hard, easy applies for jobs, dry January, dating apps, workout fads, and pretty much any time in your life where you think taking the easy way out is your ticket to success. Because they never work. I mean, sure, they work for a short time period or have like a 1% success rate, but not everyone can be in that 1%. I will say, most of these examples show up in health and fitness, but I also want you to start noticing how this mindset shows up in your career, dating life, your routines, and even how you problem solve in your 20s, and be prepared for me to call you out towards the end of this episode for those seemingly minor ways that they show up. But I want to use this episode in general to discuss why you're being fooled into thinking these tactics work and what to do instead. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off with what a quick fix even is, so you can start thinking about how you operate in the quick fix world. A quick fix is anything that promises results without requiring you to build the skill, tolerance, or structure to maintain them. The most obvious one that I'll begin with is weight loss, where you want to lose unwanted weight as quickly as possible, so you're trying anything and everything to get it off. Cutting calories, over-exercising, removing food groups, intermittent fasting, keto, carnivore, labeling foods as bad or forbidden, and so on and so forth. The real kicker here is this giant aggressive swing you're making from your current lifestyle to what you think is going to be the fastest, best way to shed some pounds isn't working. And here's where it tricks you. You're going to see some weight come off by trying any one of these things, simply because it's a new stimulus you are sending through your body. So sure, your body is going to respond and then you're going to hit a plateau. So you think you need to amp it all up to the next level, cut even more calories, work out even more. And again, that first 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks, your body is going to respond. And then you'll hit your next wall. And the problem with this tactic is you're going to reach a place where cutting calories and working out more is doing far more harm than good, causing your body to rebound. Because you can only cut your calories so low and or work out so much before your body starts screaming at you to take care of it. This comes in the form of weight gain. Yep, even if you keep your calories in low and your calories out high, you're going to gain weight. And this also looks like getting injured and feeling sore for days on end after a workout, so your recovery is poor, getting sick. You're running on fumes, and our bodies are not made to operate in this way. The beginning part of making these new changes is deceiving, because it does work for a little. But then you reach your constant dead ends. Whereas if you took a slower, more sustainable approach, you would see a steady decline in weight and not these major fluctuations. One of my personal training clients has this problem where the second he travels, he puts on 5 to 10 pounds. And while it is mostly water weight, it is really hard for him to shake it off afterwards, simply because he is part of the diet culture that is constantly making these big swings. and giant swings don't lead to lasting changes. At the end of last year, he told me when he gets back from his trip, he's going to clean it all up, and then proceeds to say whether that means eating 1,500 calories or what. And I stopped him and was like, "You're a 6'2", 220-pound man. In no world should you ever eat 1,500 calories. Actually, no adult or human above the age of 10 should be eating 1,500 calories or less. We need food." The following week, he brought this conversation up again and goes, "I'll go on a crash diet, which might look like eating clean and getting 200 grams of protein every day." And I look at him and I go, "That's what you should have been doing this whole time." Mind you, we've been working together for over 2 years. And then I explained to him that the word diet is not a verb. It's marketed as a verb with Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and other weight loss companies, but the word diet is a noun. Diet quite literally means the foods you are putting into your body. You can change your diet, as in you can change what goes into your body, but saying you're going on a diet is setting yourself up to fail because you're going to fall off of it or quit it when you don't quit food. So in order for this to not be a quick fix, you need to be realistic about what you're including and excluding in your daily life right now, while also knowing that it doesn't mean you have to drastically cut out food groups or calories to see results. Quick fixes overall help with instant gratification. You get a result instantly. Slow fixes are delayed gratification, which isn't as fun, and it's probably more frustrating since it requires patience. But you have a better shot at being successful long-term when you take it slower. I mean, take the old wives' tale with the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. Sure, your quick fix might give you what feels like a solid lead, but you're going to slow down just as fast as you ramped up. I want you to think of anything as temporary, a shortcut, an end date, a fall off, as an easy fix and something that gives you your 1% chance of success and 99% chance of keeping you stuck and frustrated. Another example would be easy applies. Is it possible to get an interview and then a job off of a quick Indeed application? Sure, it's how I got my first job. I've had a client get a job through that, but mind you, one client out of the dozens I've worked with, only one has gotten a response and a job offer. So don't hold your breath, but also you don't have to avoid it altogether. The slower approach takes you out of your comfort zone because you have to go connect with real people in your industry of interest. It's much easier and less emotional to stay online and hide behind your computer screen. But it's a lot more beneficial for you to go the roundabout way of reaching out to people and companies, if not go in person. Online applications are deceptive in that they make you feel like you're being productive and making moves in your job search. You can apply to many jobs in the span of 30 minutes to an hour and think, wow, I'm doing so great in this job search process. But just because you're doing something does not mean you're making progress. Most of those applications get swallowed whole by AI and spit out before human eyes have even grazed your name. And then you get burnt out, frustrated, and run out of places to apply to since there are only so many applications on job sites, which leaves you to believe that the job market is trash, you'll never get hired, and there's no point in continuing to try because nothing's working. When it's not that nothing's working, it's that your strategy isn't working because you're trying to take the fast lane in building relationships when that is a slow process. Yes, slow processes are more painful, but you're so much better off in the long run for doing so, for taking that slower approach, which is the exact point I'm making throughout this episode. And online applications teach you to wait to be chosen rather than doing the choosing yourself, leaving you to hold on to this hope that someone will see your application and pick you. And you just have to sit back and wait for them to call. And that's not how it works for a majority of you listening. So far, I've covered quick fixes in your health and in your career. I want to shift into dating because this one's a little bit more of a surprise. Because yes, dating has quick fixes in them too. Spoiler alert, quick fixes are literally everywhere. Dating apps are your quick fixes. They are dopamine hits and a fast way to being exposed to a lot of people. Similar to job applications, you get to hide behind a screen instead of putting the work in to go out in the wild and meet people. You're getting instant validation while being flooded with options of potential. And I'm not saying dating apps don't work in the same way I said online easy apply jobs don't work. But what I am saying is you're taking the easier path to avoid friction and discomfort. And again, they deceive you. You get a match, maybe even a first date. You're talking to someone. It's exciting, but it's hardly ever real or long-lasting. So while you feel like you're making moves in your dating life, you're actually making yourself feel even more discouraged that there's no one decent out there looking for commitment. But that's really where they apply in regards to dating. I want to break down where else quick fixes can show up in your life because they might not be so obvious until I say them out loud. So, example being avoiding hard conversations by convincing yourself it's not that serious is one. Texting someone instead of calling them or seeing them. Protecting your peace. All that are quick fixes because you're going around what's actually happening. Some more include staying busy is a quick fix to the loneliness you feel deep down. Going out in groups instead of developing one-on-one friendships. Ghosting instead of telling someone you're not interested. Scrolling on social media instead of taking action in your life. I told you I was going to call you out and be the bearer of bad news. And it's not even to say I don't also participate in some of these quick fixes. Our society has made it really easy to fall into the quick fix category over struggling. Because why struggle when you can avoid what you don't want to tolerate? But all that being said, quick fixes have one thing in common. They help you feel better right now while keeping you stuck in the same place long term. And adulting doesn't get easier when you avoid the things you don't want to face. They just build up and make your life a lot more difficult later on. I think what it all really boils down to is not searching for the fastest way to potentially see results, but finding what you can maintain long term without burning yourself out or crashing out over not seeing results right away. Something you're investing in where you know that over time you will get there. Yeah, it's not as exciting or as glamorous as those instant results you temporarily get from a quick fix. It's consistency. It's tiny deposits day in and day out that build up to even bigger results than you could have even imagined for yourself. So start with your routine. Build the systems that support sustainability and do what you can do every day, even when you're feeling unmotivated or uncomfortable. It's all in the 1% difference. Not a giant difference up front that causes you to fall off a little bit later. Because if it's something you can't do on your worst week, then it's probably a quick fix. If it's something that is based on how you feel that day or that week, then it's a quick fix. If it's something you can quit, it's a quick fix. If it's something you have to be locked in for, it's a quick fix. Adulting is learning what you are capable of committing to for it to actually work long term, which is boring, but it's what works. You want the results. You just have to be patient enough for you to actually see them, which hopefully this episode helped you to see why patience is the way to go and why quick fixes aren't, but rather work to slow your progress down. So on that note, thank you for listening to another episode of How to 20-something. If you liked what you heard, if you felt called out, or know someone who needs to feel called out, then please share this episode, post it to social media, send it to that friend. Just do something to help me expand my reach and help all of the 20-somethings out there navigating the most confusing decade of their lives. And as always, I can't wait to be in your headphones again next week with another brand new episode.